Hello, fellow foreigners. It's Emily and it's Peter, and we're living in China, not discovering it. And we want you to subscribe. We want you to share. We want you to hit the bell. We want you to hit the like button because we want you to like us. Because a lot of people don't like that we're here, and more importantly, they don't like Chinese people.
They don't like that Chinese people are here either.
Yeah, I don't know how you could spend so much time on hating this, but having a YouTube channel and finding out this conversation comes directly from looking for questions for our Crap in China show.
Yeah, this is a very special episode of Crap Advice in China.
and just
stop being racist.
Looking for simple questions of like, I know there's people that want to come here. I know there's people that want to study here. I know there's people that like, I know you like Chinese food. I know you like Kung Fu. But go on the internet.
Yeah.
And it's just a racist fest that almost is so crushing that like.
Well, I want to call out in particular Yahoo Answers. The Yahoo Answers China topic is full of only racism. Only racism.
Yeah.
And like stuff so vile that I feel like it should have been moderated off the board.
Just really quickly that like, we know this isn't new news. We're not.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not
the
telling
internet
you
is racist.
What? But we're just. We need to rant about this, and this is part of. If we're gonna have a channel in China, we just need to tell people that it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And we're looking at you, and we're judging you, and we're hating you as much as you hate the Chinese.
All forms of group-based hate are unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
So stop it.
Something this channel stands for.
Well, it is something because I look for our questions for our Crap Advice from China because we've had this idea in various forms, including like writing our own questions, but that feels dumb. Like dumber than the actual show that we're doing. And
it's also hard work because to wite a question in a fictitious way, it means like I'd rather save that for.
And then like part because of to open up our creative process here a little bit. The advice isn't the point. I mean, if you watch the show, you can see that the questions are a jumping off point for us to like riff and share our stories and anecdotes. Because that's. You need a little seed to start your story.
Right.
And so if we're writing our own questions, it tends to like, I write either consciously or subconsciously right towards an idea that's already in my head. Whereas these questions what's fun about them is they kind of surprise you with the prompts and where they might take you. So that's where writing your own questions would be less fun.
Because it's like playing checkers with yourself. Like you know what the next move is going to be.
Yeah, or like I really want to talk about my tomato plants, so I'm going to write a question about tomato plants.
Oh, great!
So
everyone's turning off.
Instead, I have to shoehorn plants into other topics, which is like more fun to do.
Have you seen my marble action figure?
But yeah, so researching these questions, I look at various forums around the web, and I try to find some that are still active, which is hard. And Yahoo Answers is a very active community, but like it's almost like it makes me not want to do Crap Advice at all, or any kind of self-expression.
It makes you
at all. It makes you despair.
Yeah, it makes you want to turn our channel off and erase everything.
Yeah.
Like, why bother trying to do anything nice when somebody's trying to crap on not just us? I mean, we're relatively. I mean, we're small enough that it doesn't even matter. Every once in a while, somebody like wanders onto ours, but we don't get hate most of the time.
I mean, we had like one commenter who we zapped a couple weeks ago who was saying like racist things that didn't apply to our race.
Right.
I'm not going to say specifically what they are, but like it didn't hurt our feelings, but it did hurt.
Right. And we're so little affected by like it's not like we're hit by a hate raid of people. We're not big enough.
We don't have to live with that.
Right. But the fact that
it still sucks.
We live in China. We have a channel. We watch other people's channels. We read. This is our life here in China. If someone was like just flat out like saying horrible things about your neighbors.
Yeah.
Like unless you hate your neighbors and you hate where you live, you're gonna feel this like, oh my God, like should I not should I just give up? Like,
And
this is my society you're talking about. This
Yeah.
is where I live.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel horrible as a person to know that there's other people that have time in their day to devote hate to your neighbors.
Like, it's becoming mainstream acceptable to just say horrible things. And
that's why we have to speak up. Just even if it's for ourselves, even if no one else out there is watching.
Yeah.
Just so that we know that, like, we said something.
And this kind of dovetails with my attempts to find alternative social media networks, because I do think the state of social media has enabled people to express these thoughts more widely and move the Overton window to have it be more acceptable to publicly say racist things. And they did that by like, well, it's free speech, hands off, like, Facebook ruined society. I mean, we ruined society. We did it ourselves, but Facebook really enabled it. So I was looking for alternative social media platforms that had more robust anti-harassment policies and didn't sell your data, and they exist, but the problem is they're just not very good because not many people are on them.
Right.
So I in answer to like, how do we not have racist enclaves on the internet, is support companies that do something about it, but it's like a catch-22 of, but like, those services aren't very good, but they're not very good because nobody supports them. So I don't know, I guess just keep fighting them back every day.
Well, I mean, and we're looking for, I mean, we have an audience that is super small, but we know that there's an audience for what we're doing out there, because we come from, we're doing the kind of things that we've always loved, and those things have gotten on TV, and those things are respected in academic worlds and artistic worlds. Like, we know that we have the talent, we know we're good at what we do.
Yeah.
So there's a reason for us personally to keep doing stuff, but to find other people out there is not that easy. When I find somebody that's vaguely talking about the same kind of stuff, whether it's about China or just in art in general or society, or that something that I latch onto, their numbers are so tiny. So when you go to one of these alternative platforms and you're looking for people to relate to, and there's like 200 members on it, and you're like, is this worth it in investing in? Yeah,
there's 200 members and the interface is really clunky.
Because mainstream is always going to be the mainstream, but when the mainstream starts to be something that's just infiltrated with people that are like, I'm sick of this PC crap.
Then we roll over and say, well, that's free speech. It's not free speech to let racists scream everything they want to. Like, if a child was screaming in your restaurant, and I know this, but people would say something to those parents and like try to enable the child to stop screaming.
Right. You don't allow tantrums to happen.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean they have to be punished or thrown in jail or anything. What we're talking about is even having compassion for those people and saying, like, look, there's a timeout. I mean, at
this point, I don't even care about changing hearts and mind. I just stop doing it. Just stop doing it.
That's the hardest part of like why we end up like. Some people might wonder, like, why isn't our channel always like this? Because we're always this enraged. We're always talking about this.
Let me tell you what I saw today.
And justifying it by talking about it is part of the problem. So you're always going back and forth as to, like, should we air this kind of stuff out? Should we talk about this stuff? And part of me is like, we should talk about nothing but this. But then I don't want to be this throbbing blood vessel. Like,
what would be the point of that? To be some kind of Life of Brian guru?
Right, yeah. Like, at what point do you become part of the problem?
Subscribe to our channel, but don't follow us.
Yeah, I want people to subscribe to our channel because we write nice songs about watermelon.
And I want to make entertainment. I want to tell stories. Right. But then part of that is, like, as a human in the real world, you just sometimes you need to share your thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, when you see some people like a couple years ago, the Sarah Silverman show, where she had this idea of like, I'm a funny person. I mean, we think she's funny. A lot of people think she's funny. A lot of people hate her too. But having a show where she goes to the opposition into their houses and talks to them was an inspiring thing. It only made it 2 seasons though. And the second season wasn't as good. And part of it, you could see some of the fire taken out of what she loves to do as make people happy. And by trying to infuse that into your artwork, it taints it in a way that it's just not sustainable. I can't be this level of hate.
Well, for
hate.
I think that her wanting to find the friendliness to it all, it was maybe the fatal flaw of that show. Versus like Kamau Bell is treading similar topics as a liberal-leaning person, very liberal-leaning person, trying to go and meet the opposition, meet people who hold views against him. But his premise it doesn't seem to be like making friends or coming to any kind of peace. It's more like, why do you do what you do? All right, I think I get it. And
he's a very funny guy, but I don't think and a comedian.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's coming at it from the point of a comedian. I think he's a concerned citizen who's worried about his children and the world.
Yeah, he has biracial children. He says very much like he wants to make the world better for them.
Which is not to say that Sarah Silverman doesn't have those kinds of things, or us for that matter. Whoever you are and whatever you're trying to do, of trying to just make the world a happier place, at some point there comes, I just can't stand it anymore. I can't continue. I can't make fun of this. I try to think of funny ways to like make fun of this stuff, to try and SNL something, and it's just like it just comes out like I just want to write an industrial thrash song. I want to kill your eyes. Like I don't know what to do with that level.
Racist eyes.
You've got racist eyes.
She's got racist eyes.
Now I do kind of want to write that song. But where do you put this kind of? For us, we put it here because we're looking for questions to try to, and it's not. I wouldn't say crap advice. We're not doing it to belittle people. There's funny in this situation, and to take a question that seems absurd and what is the real basis of the question and what is the absurd part of it between two cultures.
And if you're an idiot, how would you answer that question?
Right. That's all like fun and games. But by doing that and keep coming across so much hate, and it's not good hate. If it was good hate, if it was funny hate, if it was productive hate, I'd be all for it. But it's stupid hate.
Well, here's what I've realized by being a person alive for so many years. It's taken a really long time, but I'm working on it. Part of those kinds of comments, those awful comments that make you want to despair, is to make you despair and not do anything about it.
True.
So I've been more mindful of like when I'm getting frustrated and overwhelmed by like negative. Is it not recording?
So Emily's camera died, but
couldn't handle the controversy.
Oh my God, it was just upsetting for everybody, including the camera. But now she's over here, and you can see that we're actually in the same room. Hello, hi. What were you saying?
So what I was saying to kind of deal with this, being on the internet, and as a 40-year-old, it's taken me a while to learn how to live life, but that people say these awful things so that you will shut up and that they can reclaim the conversation. And so that helps me keep going, in that like if I give up, the terrorists win. But also that like when I'm on the internet, when I'm looking through our spam posts, or when I'm looking for questions and I stumble onto a forum that's just horrible, I know like don't get mad. I mean, always be mad, but don't fall into despair. Close the tab. That's you don't have to fight that way on their turf. And it's not like I'm responding to any of these racist posts, because that's not that just gives more attention to the racism and makes the conversation on their terms.
Yeah, otherwise we'd be naming names and
but not just shutting them up and then not shutting up myself. That's what I do.
and then we'll turn around and we'll make some art to either make you feel good or silly, because
racist eyes.
noodles.
Noodles.